So we do a weekly podcast, and obviously whenever we can trap you like this, we were going to do it. Yeah, Mitch and I have been, you know, longtime fans, obviously, like everybody here is. There's probably not a single person in here who doesn't know who you are, or, you know, realize that you actually put weed on the map for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I'm the godfather of weed.
Go ahead.
I think the other thing is, too, you have perspective on it, because you've been sort of at that, I don't know, we always comment how it's like a crossroad of entertainment and drugs and weed, whatever, you know, and you've been there for so long and sort of seeing,
hovering in that cusp.
Yeah, sort of seeing what the next thing has been. And I got to ask, did you ever expect to see the day, first of all, that we'd have something like a Cannabis Cup, and second of all, that we'd have something like Colorado going on?
Well, you know, I never really thought too much ahead. I never do. It's too scary. You know, because there's not much ahead.
Yeah, it's good though. You picked the right path. You know?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you were there at the path change.
Well,
you picked it without even trying. You know.
The thing is, the pot keeps you in the moment. You know, and that's one of the greatest things that I found about it. You know, it didn't matter what the moment was. It just made that moment big and something. It meant something.
Well,
you know?
It's interesting, man. When you smoke, you always go back to the last time you smoked at that spot or at that moment. You know, so that moment does get frozen in that little zone.
Yeah.
With your friends, and then you go back to that rock or wherever you smoked. And
you know, everybody says, you know, weed is much stronger now than it ever was before. And the people that say that, they obviously don't smoke weed.
Yeah, no.
They don't know what
I think it goes both ways. One time somebody will tell you, you know, you kids, you don't know weed. Back when I was like, one little joint, 10 people, 8 hours, you know what I mean? And now it's like people are just dabbing all day and smoking the whole plant's worth in a day.
Well, and the people today, you know, they get a little bit, you know, they think, oh, wow, you know, we're growing the best stuff in the world.
Yeah.
They never tasted Thai stick.
Sure.
You know,
or an old Michoacan
or weed from Vietnam era. I mean, that stuff.
I think the Vietnamese had some crazy weed, that's for sure.
Or from Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've been really focused on.
I once took a toke of a joint in Hawaii, and I couldn't get out of the elephant grass. I was laying on my back at a concert, and we were supposed to go on, and I could hear everybody talking, but I couldn't move.
Wow.
And that was back in the early 70s.
Yeah. No, I think the purity is definitely one of those things where a lot of us are never going to get to experience, because as the world gets smaller and people travel and trade seed around, the chances of finding that original guy with that original seed are pretty rare. You know what I mean? So we're trying our hardest.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the concentrates and the extracts?
Dab
You're saying dabbing and.
Well, same thing. We had them back then. You know,
Yeah,
it was called hash oil.
Yeah, there you go. Please tell everyone this.
Yeah, you guys,
or hash.
Yeah.
You would take a little bit of hash, and we had edibles too, because that's what you did when the cops were pulling you over.
Yeah.
You know.
Instant edibles.
It was definitely edible.
Oh yeah.
And if you had to do anything important after that, you were in a little bit of trouble.
Sure. Well, I think that the glass culture, and you're part of that with the whole. I mean, you definitely, with your son's company and the whole situation that you put yourself through, you probably know more than anybody about this whole glass culture. And that's really what's changed this whole game, I think.
We were the typical stoner glass blowers that thought, oh, they're so busy with everything else. They would never.
Not looking at me.
They're not going to look at us. What are we? We're just a little glass blowing company, and we're not hurting anybody.
Of course.
And we're bringing joy to everybody. And how could they? And next thing you know, we're busted.
Right. No.
But then we got busted by liars and drunkards.
Right. And you were definitely in that and caught up in a much bigger net that we're looking for. And it almost seemed like at that time period it was a little bit like a throwback to like when they were going after communism and stuff, because you could really see they were like victimized. Oh, this guy.
Emblematic.
He's the big guy. You know what I mean? And really, come on now. Like,
what they do.
You're an entertainer on top of everything. You know what I mean? That's the first thing you are.
Yeah. Before they fuck you, they dehumanize you.
Right.
And so then it's easy, like when they busted us for glass, they called us terrorists. They said that if you support, Bush said it, if you support drugs, then you support terrorism.
For sure, it's either us or them, and that's the mentality.
In the meantime, Bush is lying like a motherfucker and saying there was weapons of mass destruction.
All proven wrong, of course.
All wrong, and they're still walking around free.
I know, it's amazing.
They tortured people. They stole people's money, they killed people, and they're still walking around giving speeches.
For sure. No, I mean, that's the only thing, in my opinion, the crazy part about cannabis becoming where it's at right now is that I'm always worried about there's something else going on that they're giving us, this, feeding us this bone right now. Like,
Legalizing.
here you go, guys. Have fun with that. You know?
Even if they are,
Yeah.
the worst thing you can do is live your life in a paranoid state.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Even when I went to jail, I wasn't paranoid, I wasn't vindictive, I wasn't mad. You know what I did? I looked at it like a stoner does. We look at it and say, oh, this is a new experience.
Yeah, you gotta learn from it, right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
You get a lot of sleep. That's what I would
Got a lot of
sleep,
sleep.
read.
I read all the books.
Yeah.
I could read.
Yeah. No,
Went to the sweat lodge. Had a sweat lodge. It was a holiday for me.
So how was your experience on Dancing with the Stars recently?
Dancing with the Stars. Now that's jail.
That was
That's
jail. That was worse than a jail time.
That's fucking jail, man. They locked me up for 7 days a week. Man.
Yeah, and you couldn't talk about
Seven.
anything.
We'd do a show, and I thought, oh, good. You do a show, you're thinking,
Yeah.
oh, I can relax. Rehearsal, 8 o'clock the next morning. The new dance. It was tough, but it was so much fun. Man.
Yeah. No, for
You know,
sure.
the only-
Had you always danced, or was that you kind of were learning
Well,
for the show?
I used to be a black guy years ago.
Okay.
And so that's where I learned. That's where I got my soul from.
Right.
Because I hung with the black guys and we danced. Yeah, that's the only way you
Yeah,
can
it
get
really
laid.
wasn't the problem. It was probably the
Yeah.
condition. You already got a beautiful wife, so you don't really need to go out and improve anything at this point, right?
That was the toughest part. The toughest part of Dancing with the Stars was being with a professional, beautiful dancer 8 hours a day, and then come home and try to have a conversation with my wife. That was the tough. For 2 months,
Right.
7 days a week.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
tough.
That is like a prison
That's
sentence,
full.
if
It's
you-
more than we work. Jeez.
That was tough.
Straight through. Want to get a shout out for the show?
Oh yeah, can we get
Sure.
you to do a little drop for the show? You say this is
Tommy
Tommy Chong.
This is the Adam Dunn Show.